representing people. Mr. President, my people are on the sea.
On this place, economic stability and confidence. The propaganda are proper to the needs of this minister and the propaganda.
Give us access to our money in time.
As always said, there are two sets of people, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the coward and the hypocrites.
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians believe now is not about the government. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are on the sea.
On this place, economic stability and confidence.
Conversation on Atlantic Television Network. Open Conversation is the network's flagship political platform through which trending political news, events, and stories are discussed with stakeholders. Through these conversations, ATN uses political talks about specific issues, party system, and actor to explore hope and engender positive impacts to the society. Today on Open Conversation, we'll look at these stories. First, Edo State. Suspension of school resumption, political, APC says. And then on to Imo local government polls, APC protest over alleged imposition of candidates. And on Benue State, Benue's local government polls, two APC factions present candidates for elections. And then on to Kaduna State, Labour Party backs Senator Nenadi's appointment as National CTC chairman. On fuel hike, hard decisions necessary for economic prosperity, Tinubu says. And on governance, Jonathan Buhari's regime better than Tinubu's government, NLC says. On 2027, why I refused to respond to Kalu, Governor Oti says. And on politics, Ngelale can now rest and add weight, Shehu Sani has to say. We are open for advert placements, bookings, and commercials. You can connect with us on all our ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, and on Twitter, Atlantic TV Net. Watch us live on our website, www.atlanticnetwork.tv. We'll go on a short break. When we come back, we'll delve right into the show. Do not go away.
Are proper to the needs of this minister and the propaganda.
Give us access to our money in time.
As always said, there are two sets of people, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the coward and the hypocrites.
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians believe now is not about the government. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are on the sea.
On this place, economic stability and confidence. The propaganda are proper to the needs of this minister and the propaganda.
Give us access to our money in time.
As always said, there are two sets of people, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the coward and the hypocrites.
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians believe now is not about the government. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are on the sea.
On this place, economic stability and confidence. The propaganda are proper to the needs of this minister and the propaganda.
Give us access to our money in time.
As always said, there are two sets of people, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the coward and the hypocrites.
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians believe now is not about the government. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are on the sea.
On this place, economic stability and confidence. The propaganda are proper to the needs of this minister and the propaganda.
Give us access to our money in time.
tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians believe now is not about the company. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are on the sea. And will place economic stability and confidence. To conduct this act, I covered critical needs of this minister and the protect. Give us access to our money we can. I've always said there are two sides of people, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the coward and the hypocrites. Which I
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians believe now is not about the company. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
representing people. Mr. President, my people are on the sea. And will place economic stability and confidence. To conduct this act, I covered critical needs of this minister and the protect. Give us access to our money we can. I've always said there are two sides of people, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the coward and the hypocrites. Which I
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians believe now is not about the company. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
representing people. Mr. President, my people are on the sea. And will place economic stability and confidence. To conduct this act, I covered critical needs of this minister and the protect. Give us access to our money we can. I've always said there are two sides of people, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the coward and the hypocrites. Which I
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians believe now is not about the company. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
representing people. Mr. President, my people are on the sea. And will place economic stability and confidence. To conduct this act, I covered critical needs of this minister and the protect. Give us access to our money we can. I've always said there are two sides of people, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the coward and the hypocrites. Which I
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians believe now is not about the company. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
representing people. Mr. President, my people are on the sea. And will place economic stability and confidence. To conduct this act, I covered critical needs of this minister and the protect. Give us access to our money we can. I've always said there are two sides of people, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the coward and the hypocrites. Which I
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians believe now is not about the company. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
representing people. Mr. President, my people are on the sea. And will place economic stability and confidence. To conduct this act, I covered critical needs of this minister and the protect. Give us access to our money we can. I've always said there are two sides of people, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the coward and the hypocrites. Which I
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians believe now is not about the company. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
representing people. Mr. President, my people are on the sea. And will place economic stability and confidence. To conduct this act, I covered critical needs of this minister and the protect. Give us access to our money we can.
hot topic challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the company. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are on the sea. And will place economic stability and confidence. The content is at top of the needs of this minister and the president. Give us access to our money within the time.
As always said, there are two sides of people, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the coward and the hypocrites. Which I
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the company. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are on the sea. And will place economic stability and confidence. The content is at top of the needs of this minister and the president. Give us access to our money within the time.
As always said, there are two sides of people, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the coward and the hypocrites. Which I
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the company. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are on the sea. And will place economic stability and confidence. The content is at top of the needs of this minister and the president. Give us access to our money within the time.
As always said, there are two sides of people, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the coward and the hypocrites. Which I
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the company. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are on the sea. And will place economic stability and confidence. The content is at top of the needs of this minister and the president. Give us access to our money within the time.
As always said, there are two sides of people, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the coward and the hypocrites. Which I
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the company. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are on the sea. And will place economic stability and confidence. The content is at top of the needs of this minister and the president. Give us access to our money within the time.
As always said, there are two sides of people, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the coward and the hypocrites. Which I
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the company. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are on the sea. And will place economic stability and confidence. The content is at top of the needs of this minister and the president. Give us access to our money within the time.
and in between are the coward and the hypocrites. Which I
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the company. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are on the sea. And will place economic stability and confidence. The content is at top of the needs of this minister and the president. Give us access to our money within the time.
I've always said there are two sets of people, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the coward and the hypocrites, which I am.
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians believe now is not about the company. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are on the sea.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
The contenders are proper to be the lead of this minister and the government.
People access to our money within the account.
I've always said there are two sets of people, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the coward and the hypocrites, which I am.
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians believe now is not about the company. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are on the sea.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
The contenders are proper to be the lead of this.
Staying with us. Joining me on Open Air this morning is Honorable Churchill Wale. Honorable Churchill Wale is a politician. Good morning and welcome to Open Air.
Good morning, face of ATN. Good morning, Nigerians.
And also joining me on Open Air this morning is Chizi Onyomasila. Chizi, good morning and welcome to Open Air.
Good morning, Larissa, and then good morning, Nigerians.
And on to the story. All Progressive Congress Edo State Chapter has described as expensive political gimmickry the decision of the state government to suspend indefinitely the resumption date for schools in the state over the hike of the price of fuel. The permanent secretary in the State Ministry of Education, Ojo Akinlonge, via a memo announced the postponement of September 9, the earlier scheduled date, until further notice. The party's publicity secretary, Mr. Peter Owadie Enosorobe, told the press that the action of the state government was a political gimmick less expected by the public. Owadie Enosorobe said he was surprised that the state government could be sacrificing the educational pursuit of children for politics. He said, "You cannot sacrifice the education pursuit of the children for fuel scarcity. It is not today that we are having a hike in fuel prices. This cannot derail the educational system. Nobody is protesting the hike and no parents have complained that they cannot take their children to school for learning. This is not adding up. To every reasonable and rational individual, the government has erred again. It is one of the mistakes of the state government. It is not in the interest of the children, it is not in the interest of the parents, and it is not in the interest of the educational system," he said. Owadie Enesorobe called for the reversal of the decision, saying that the state education had suffered a lot under his administration. According to him, statistics of performance for the recently released results of the West African Senior School Certificate Examination ranked Edo 26th as against first and second positions in the past. He called on the stakeholders to prevail on the government to open the schools, adding that it was illogical for the government to keep at home children whose parents had paid school fees and bought textbooks. The children are eager to go back to classes to learn, so the government should not use political gimmickry to checkmate them. Honorable Churchill, what is your take on this story?
Yes, really, we know that the country is suffering serious hardship concerning the fuel price hike, and it's really affecting every system of the country. I'm of the opinion that we should look onto the federal government to change the price of the fuel, but that shouldn't affect the school system of any state. I see it political, believing that yes, that just like I said before this time, that when the issue of the wall of Gibraltar came into the existence, and I told people that Edo, I have ticked it for APC, clearly. Knowing that not only the wall of Gibraltar, but the consistent system of political firing of APC and gingering to ensure that their party is on ground. So I see that Edo APC has taken ground and has made a lot of positive impacts in their campaign. So if the state government, which I know that belongs to my party, the PDP, wants to fight the federal government, is a different issue. They should talk concerning the hike of fuel price and not stopping the school system. Because the school system, if they shut down the school system, it will affect them. Most of the states, like Rivers State is resuming Monday, being tomorrow, and Akwa Ibom State is also resuming, being tomorrow. Many states, in short, almost all the states is resuming tomorrow. So what is the essence of shutting down the resumption when you know that, yes, it's going to affect the entire system of the education? Many children, you know, this public holiday has really affected them. Some children, if not that their parents took time to bring home teachers and involve them in extramural classes, most children see the holiday to be watching movie, playing here and there, and you know, asking their parents to take them out for one or two icing and then pleasure life that is living lives of pleasure. But now, if others go back to school and they are home, it will continue in them too. And it will also reduce the ability to cope up with the system. So what I'm saying is that, in a nutshell, that they should stop playing politics with the hike of fuel. Not that I'm in support that the fuel price that is being hiked up to this extent, like me now, driving my car when I'm not going to look for money is even a problem. So, but what we are looking at is they shouldn't use it to stop the education system. Right. The government of Edo State should forget about the politics that they're about playing. They should go straight to the system they are playing, the game that is about ending up by September, by this month, and play it very well and forget about the resumption of the school. The resumption of the school should be what has been fixed before this time.
All right.
Shouldn't be affected by the hike of the price of fuel.
All right. Chizi, what is your take on this statement?
Yes, I will clearly say that both the one who took the action, the Edo State government who took the action, and those who reacted, the APC spokesperson who did react, that they are all playing politics. If politics, like even though I have always said that the word politics does not denote that kind of negativity, but of course, let me use the word, give it to you, that they used. I would say both of them are playing politics. The reason is simple. I mean, a governor who, especially when you are about to hand over to the person that you are supporting, I think for now, what I would have heard or would have preferred to hear is two things. Either that he has come openly to criticize the fuel hike, or that he has provided palliative for the students to go back to school by providing buses for the students to do. So why suspend school? Even though some of us, if I was in Edo, it would have been a relief because I won't pay school fees for now. But again, how did the other people know that all the parents have paid school fees, that the parents are not complaining? Who told them that the parents are not complaining? You know that what he has said is a complete lie. You can't speak for all the parents in Edo to say that they are not complaining. You know this thing is harsh. But the only thing is that the action they have taken in that is not good. I mean, the Edo State government. And of course, but you can't stand there to say, look, all the parents have paid their school fees and then they are ready to go. Who told you? I haven't paid my children's school fees. So what is he talking about? I can tell you clearly that, you know what is happening is that I don't know whether there is something that there's an uncle of mine, you know, each time we meet him, I say, uncle, you've done this and we like it. He say, wait, we should wait, let him go to the next office. That it looks to him that there is something in the next office that will not allow him perform the way he's doing. So sometimes I wonder whether there is something in the office of the governor or the president that makes you begin to think otherwise. If not, why would a national person, knowing that the the central bodies, examination bodies like WAEC, like NACOs and all of that, we know what we do. So what is he doing? So you can't come and stop your own children from going to school, you know. And so I think that both of them are not saying the complete truth.
Right.
Yeah,
you're faulting the APC for speaking for the generality,
of the people, to say that,
assuming that everybody has
paid
school fees and
they are not complaining about it, and there is no protest on the fuel hike. Of course, yes, but if
probably what the person meant was parents not complaining. It means that what he could mean could be that parents are not complaining in the sense that they are not saying, parents have not come out to say because of the fuel hike our children will sit at home. You understand? So parents are not coming out to say the fuel hike is going to be an issue for our children to go back to school.
Okay.
So far they've not said that. So why is the government now
using that
step?
Now let me also say something. If the government is the one who supervises the school, they have Ministry of Education who does supervise the school. Chances are, I'm not speaking for them, chances are that they may have also done their internal monitoring to know that there are reports from parents that
school has not opened.
Of course, you don't need
for private schools or public schools as it were to start reporting to the schools. For this school,
no, I'm not talking about. No, I'm not talking about
the UBE.
No, I'm not talking about the public schools itself. You see, there's something we call the PTA, Parent Teachers Association. You don't think that the reporting to the government is only through the establishment.
PTA usually happens when schools have opened.
No. PTA happens mostly even in holidays.
Well,
yes, I've been a PTA chairman for like 6 years. I know that the most convenient time to hold a PTA meeting is usually holiday period. That's the most convenient time, so that the teachers, of course, you know that through PTA, of course, even if it's done on Saturday in most schools, you know that during PTA that the parents and the teachers are involved, and so sometimes not convenient is during the holidays. I am not saying that's what happened. The only thing I'm faulting is that you can't stay in a place and begin to think that everybody has paid school fees and that they can go back to school, they are not complaining. I'm also saying that the government who took that very ugly action has done it in a very wrong step. I'm asking the governor to stand up and criticize it. Of course, he's a member of the Council of State. He can come up openly to criticize that, look, President, this thing you did is not. And then the president came last time during the protest to tell us that he has released 570 billion naira to states to help, you know, reduce the stress on this. So the government or the governor should have also had used that money to say that, look, part of the money to say, look, these children are going back to school, so I'm providing buses for each school. How many schools are in Edo to carry the children to school? Or, look, parents, because you are going to pay these school fees, I'm looking at all the children, I'm paying 10,000 naira per school.
Or paying some palliatives private schools to ensure that the price of transportation for each child is drastically
reduced. He didn't do that. So he went ahead.
Way to help parents.
He went ahead to suspend this thing, and I can tell you that his brothers and sisters and even his children are schooling in where they've resumed their own school. And so I'm thinking that what he wants to do is to get the majority of Edo people to be there so that his children will come the same way he came from somewhere and became governor.
The question is, ahead of the Edo elections, this step the governor has taken, is it in any way going to sway votes in his favor, or is it going to work to his own disadvantage?
How can that sway vote to his favor? That's going to work.
Why take this step?
You know, see, there's a Chinese proverb that said when a monkey wants to die, the entire tree will become slippery. That's what's happening to him. You know, see, in this governance, I keep saying it. Yes, we need technocrats to come into government, but we need politicians also. You know, why Nigeria thinks that a technocrat cannot be a politician is what I don't understand. I mean, you have competence. Choma, you are here. I know you have competence in this thing you do. I'm assuming that we bring you in, or you are in as commissioner for information, and you have some little bit of politics in it, so that you understand when you have to allocate accurately certain things to certain persons and not still do your professional job. Does it make you less a technocrat? No, it doesn't. That's when you bring people who do not understand that in the period of election, in fact, even a politician, a core politician, in this period of election, that's when we begin to do some welfareist program that will help the student. So we'll be shouting, oh no, you see, even if he has used fame under the umbrella of this hike to say, all the children were sewing the school uniform for them to go back. We're buying them books.
We are actually, for a period of 1 year, those states is going to take responsibility for the school fees of children in public schools.
In public schools.
That would be a great move.
And even in private schools, that
would have been a great move.
It would have been a great move. And even though they would have been accusing him that it's political, someone would say,
you not care.
Yeah, you go and play the politics like that. But here, he is shooting himself and saying, no, they shouldn't go back to school. So why is saying that everybody should wait because of election?
Why would you say he didn't say this? Because
no, of course I'm expanding his statement.
The student staying at home, doesn't it affect his election negatively? You have said if you're a parent,
yes,
you wouldn't vote for him.
Yes, of course.
So why would he take that step? You know, it would have been a different ballgame if this suspension of school resumption was in face of severe insecurity in Edo State. But Edo State right now is not facing severe insecurity.
Okay.
Even though there are concerns that the elections may be laced with some level of violence. Of course, during this season of campaign, you have seen some pockets of violence here and there against candidates, as you know, Guba candidates. But then you have something to say.
Yes, like you said, with this gain more of vote for the governor's party.
The PDP.
Like PDP, my own party. But I want to say yes. So in the other way around, I want to say that is what he believes.
Right.
Because he's a critic.
Who is a critic of Obaseki in this instance?
No, he is criticizing the government of APC at the top level. What I mean is that, yes, he is doing it to let people know that I am not in support of anything that concerns the price hike. That my party, my government is not in support.
Obaseki is vocal. Do you agree with me?
Yeah, yes, I know he's vocal.
In all the statements he has, this is the same Obaseki that came out to say in the aftermath of the shootout, you know, that killed the policeman, the attack on Shuaibu and the APC Guba candidate. He said that if the right thing is not done, is these people are not fished out, the culprits who killed this police officer, if they are not fished out, Edo State, in fact, the entire country will burn down. If a governor
can say that,
he has immunity right now.
He has immunity.
Why can't he come out to condemn the fuel hike? And you're saying by his action of suspending school resumption, that is his own way of protesting
against the fuel hike. Yes.
How does stopping the education, the future of children translate to, how do you protest against the federal government with the life
of the children?
Children should not.
The future of the children.
The children in this instance, should they even be collateral damage in this whole scenario?
No, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be, because even most of the children are not voters. In short, the children are not voters.
But what is playing?
You understand? They are not voters, just the parents. So he is trying to look at the scenario to buy the mindset of the parents, believing that this fuel hike has really, knowing that the federal government has done their own part by even giving them funds that would have also been used to assist the public. Let me also come back to during the time Peter Dele was a governor of Rivers State. When Peter Dele was a governor, before Peter Dele became a governor, the governor at that time, it was a military regime. That time, that is the head of the state at that time, came into that should be is she Shiniko?
No.
Owen. Yes. They tried to introduce free education. Peter Dele came in as a governor and introduced free education in Rivers State. He introduced it. And it stood. Even WAEC registration was free.
Up to now.
So why not some state governors pick it up as a challenge to assist their states? I mean, assist children, assist parents, because it's also part of assistance not only to the children but also to parents. Because just like what my brother is saying, Obasla, that assistance now, so many parents has not paid school fees. And that is true. So what I'm saying is that they should not be using fuel hike. Governors should not be, Obaseki should not use fare hike to suffer the progress and the future of these children. And also, let me also put it to us that when these children are at home, mostly if your children are in boarding school, when they are at home, you spend more.
Of course.
You spend more than even when they are in school. And it will give you more headache as a father and as a mother when they are home, because you will want to make them do the things right the way you want. Because even when they are in the school, the teachers are teaching them their own. The ones you have finished teaching them, the food you will give to them, you will still pay the same school fees. Because no matter what they will delay, they will still pay the same school fees.
All right.
So far as it's federal government colleges, so far as it's
private schools,
state schools, private schools, they will still pay the same school fees. So you should stop the politics he's playing.
All right.
And allow the children go back to school.
All right. Protests have rocked the All Progressive Congress in Imo State over the alleged imposition of chairmanship candidates ahead of the September 21, 2024 council elections in Imo State. Etienne gathered that one of the areas affected is the Oguta council area of the state. Stakeholders of the party under the Oguta Unity Forum, through their spokesperson, Chief Kenneth Obi, said the zoning arrangement was under threat in Oguta, alleging that the nomination of Ifeanyi Nnani as chairmanship candidate was against zoning arrangement between Oguta North and South. He argued that Honorable Ifeanyi Nnani, who hails from Oguta North, currently holds a key position in the political equation, with the present House of Assembly member also from the North. He said this situation has sparked dissatisfaction among party members and residents in Oguta, particularly those from Oguta South who feel marginalized by the move. He called on the leadership of the APC in Imo State to uphold the long-standing zoning arrangement in Oguta in the interest of peace and fair play in the local government area. According to him, the zoning arrangement ensures that when one section of the local government area produces the House of Assembly representative, the chairmanship position is given to the opposite section. Party leaders noted that as the election date draws closer, all eyes are on Governor Uzodimma and the leadership of the APC in Imo State to resolve the issue in a manner that promotes fairness, equity, and peace in Oguta local government area. Chizi, what do you make of this story?
You know, first is to note that APC is in government in Imo State. That means Hope Uzodimma is of the APC. And of course, ordinarily, there should be some internal crisis in the local government election, because Choma can say it here without doubt that it is almost assumed that as soon as you become the candidate of the APC, you're almost the chairman of the party. Of course, given from, I mean, I'm taking instance from what has happened around this our place. No wonder that happened. He also has said that the man is holding positions in government, and then he's calling on Hope Uzodimma. I may not be right, because I'm not God, to not know that as a politician, that for somebody who is holding a position with governor to have come to become the chairman, that the governor has asked you to go and be the chairman. But again, he's talked about the zoning, and the area he talked about the zoning is
between Oguta North,
and Oguta South, and his logic is based on the House of Assembly, you know, elections and all of that. You know, in every place there are certain permutations that people carry out to be able to do. Have you asked whether in his own whether somebody from that place is not the person who is just concluding the chairmanship position? He hasn't said all of that. Yep. Because you see, for instance, assuming that we are from Ikwere, I'm from Ikwere, and that we have constituency 1 and constituency 2 in Ikwere, and we always zone this thing like that. Supposing that somebody from that north, from that south, is just completing his chairmanship of that.
But his argument in this instance
is the assembly.
Is that both assembly and chairmanship is going to Oguta North.
No. You see,
leaving Oguta South.
No, that's where I'm coming. That's where I'm coming. It is not going. The assembly member is already there. Maybe trying to leave in 2027. It's also, I'm not just saying it because I don't have that information very correctly. But I am also saying that maybe you should have come out to say that the last person that is finishing, that I just finished local government chairman, is from that same place. That's why you begin to look at it. It's not the assembly, because you see, when I am also saying, when they elected the first chairman who is from his own place, the assembly was from the other place. No wonder that was not the issue then. And now the thing wants to turn. And so the chairman wants to come to this place. The assembly will not resign, because the assembly will only leave by 2027. So these people can also come with logic that maybe the assembly, that's assuming that the chairman...
Is in play.
Huh? Assuming that's what is in place. Yeah. So that's why I said he has not carried out all the logics. We would have heard about, because that's the first thing you would have said. For me, it would have been between the, who was the last chairman? Where was the last chairman coming from? And then this other chairman. Because if the chairman was coming from that his place, they would also give back, because assembly member is here. Assembly member will be leaving by 2027. And so what they will say is, this assembly is coming to this place. Maybe in 2027, the assembly will go back to this other place, assuming that's what had played up. But you see, I've always said this. That is the reason why I quarrel with the leaders of our law. We are more ethnically biased than we allow ourselves to pen it down. I mean, it is not a constitutional matter. Anybody can become chairman from anywhere. It's not a constitutional matter. Of course, understanding political
gentleman's agreement.
Gentleman's agreement, political understanding. And you see, I have not seen where everybody sat down to say this is how it happened. It's just because it's going to this other place, and because this one is going to that place. That's why I keep saying that the Constitution should provide for that. This pure zoning, because that is who we are. People have also said, I was talking in one of your sister sessions one day, and somebody came up to say that that is not democratic. I said, by his grace. I have said by his grace that I have the privilege of going through the classroom of theoretical politics into this very harsh arena of practical politics that I am. I studied political science. And I know that what is democracy, after all, what is democracy in UK is not what is democracy in US. It does not make it less a democracy. In UK, they operate a cabinet system of government. In US, they operate presidential system. Even other countries that they operate presidential system of government, it's not the same thing. So democracy itself is the decision of the people. Meaning that if the people so decide that we will be zoning this presidency and we should have three vice presidents, it is democratic because we've agreed.
According to the people.
According to the people. So our democracy shouldn't be told. You can't be looking at, after all, if you also say, okay, let us begin to take the prototype, which is like the UX. In UX, a father and mother can go for governor today and the other one goes for the easy. So it doesn't matter. But for us here, because we have a peculiar system, we are first a nation before we became this Nigerian field. We all came from, in fact, even in Ikwere, we have our dialects, even though we have central field. We know where all of us come from. And so if you begin to look at it from that way, so the only very close thing that would have solved certain problem is to zone it. And I tell you that if you enshrine zoning into the constitution, things like the Biafra, things like, may go. It may go, because you see, don't forget, I have said it before. The Niger Delta Frontier, did what they did, and the only way Nigeria could compensate them, the only way, in fact, it started from Southwest. When Southwest, it was about Abiola and all of that. The only way Nigeria could compensate Southwest was to give Obasanjo presidency. And so when it came, then Jonathan, all of us, they came to us. And so you see that the Boko Haram now started, they gave to Buhari. And so the Igbo started, so they will give to Igbo. That may not be it, but I can tell you that is the trend at which, at which things are going. And it is not helping us. It is not helping us. So I think that we should be open enough to advocate for it at the Constitution. But right now, I've said, let us say all the truth. It may just be, like I've said, the man works with the governor, and you are taking this case to it, like taking the case to the man who gave the man. You're taking this case to this man. They may have considered one thing, and most of them have said openly that he supports zoning. He has said that openly. He was one of those advocates that was looking for saying zoning. You have to zone this thing from this place to this other place. Chances are that the past local government chairman may have come from their own place, and so what these people are happy on is, no, the assembly is still here. So don't take it back here. Bring it here until when the assembly go. And this people are saying, no, you were there, and let it go here. I'm only assuming.
Yeah. All right. Honorable Churchill.
Yes. When I look at the issue about zoning, and I know too well that zoning is not in the Constitution, and it has really affected Nigeria so much. Zoning was the reason why we started this suffering we are suffering today, why the G5 governors decided to back up Buhari, and they took over the government without considering the nature of the nation. And it has affected us up to the extent that Nigeria is indebted. So me, I am of the opinion that the right thing should be done. You know, not that zoning is bad. Zoning is not bad. Zoning is merely a gentleman agreement. Just like in my constituency, in my ward today, the councillorship is zoned from this community to this community based on seniority. And by the grace of God, when it gets to that community, if you are 20 that want to contest, they will call all of you and screen you, and whomever that emerges as a candidate should go. So, but I see the issue in Imo State to be issue that has to be treated. Now is in the public domain, but it's supposed to have been treated by the constituency leaders. When I mean the constituency leaders, the south and the north, that emerges to be one constituency in Oguta. I have a friend that is from Oguta, the former House of Assembly member, and I know too well that he merged based on zoning. He merged based on zoning because during when he was contesting, he told me that it is in their own constituency, and he is from the south. Now it has been moved from the south to the north.
So it looks like
now what we are talking about is where the chairmanship go. If the south was in charge of the chairmanship before this time, that means it doesn't have to count. It has to go to the north.
Go to the north. Whether the person in the state house
is
from
the north.
Or it doesn't
have to be consequential.
All right.
So they should allow the system play itself. They shouldn't bring in sentiment that will now bring sympathy to their constituency or start to start to attract more sympathy to the persons in that constituency, while you cannot eat your cake and have it back.
But then they also talked about imposition of chairmanship candidates.
Now,
not just with regards to Oguta local government area,
but to the entire state.
Yes.
Now let me come to the imposition. You know, that is what happened in Rivers State. I want to use Rivers State as an instance.
All right.
You know, when the former governor told us clearly that he's not going to stand by any person to be a governor, that whomever that emerges to be a governor in Rivers State, that the person, what is he going to gain with the person becoming a governor? After all, he will just be in his house. If the person needs his advice, he will give to him. But I find out that at the playing of the game, he played his own side to bring out a candidate. And the candidate emerged today as a governor. So one thing I know about politics, I understand in the life of politicians, is that politicians want their structure to remain till the last day they will die, but which is not the will of God at times. That is to say that no man who has any man to himself, even if when you want that man to be. Believing that imposition of candidate did not start today, it has started for long. And politicians see it that is the way they want to keep their structure. But it's very, very bad. Me, I'm against imposition of any candidate. But you cannot beat, when you can't beat them, you will join them. So if they fight the fight and they didn't succeed, they should forget about it to get to their turn. Nobody knows that somebody like Wike today will become a former governor of Rivers State.
Why do you say so?
Nobody. No,
is it not in the constitution that
no.
When your tenure is done,
when I mean, I want to come to something. Okay, let me not use Wiki.
No,
let
me
also use Amechi.
No, what exactly?
Nobody knows that Amechi will be the former governor of Rivers State.
I don't understand.
Let
what
me
do
tell
you mean by that?
When they are in seats, you understand? They tell you nothing is happening. Today, I might be a governor of Rivers State today, but one thing I learned in politics when I was a councillor, the day I was sworn in, something came to me. You understand? An understanding came to me. My brother, the way you are sworn in is the way you also leave office. Another person will be sworn in. So believe that your tenure ends today. I told my people in my address that day that my tenure has ended today. See me that I am no more a councillor. See me as your friend. See me as your brother. So, but people see this power to be very, very heavy on them.
If I may recall, Churchill, still on my show, you have also applauded the emergence of Simfubara because, according to you, he was wicked that brought Simfubara and he knows what we do not know and all of that. Now, the same you now, you're coming back again to say that nobody can remain in power forever. I'm trying to...
But that is the truth. No, Wike brought in Simfubara.
What you said
yes,
initially.
Wike brought in Simfubara on his own. He knows how he did it. He succeeded in bringing Simfubara. So tomorrow, Simfubara will also leave office. You understand? Whether he will succeed to bring another person. But one thing is, imposing candidates on people is very, very bad. But
you supported Simfubara's emergence through Wike, didn't you?
Did I?
On my show, you were seated on...
I supported Simfubara.
You were seated exactly where Cheesy was sitting.
But he's a governor now.
What we are saying the same thing. You supported the FCT minister bringing in Simfubara on this seat, exactly where Cheesy was seated. That was where you were seated.
I supported.
Now you are now saying again something different, that imposition. Well, it is.
What I'm saying is imposition of candidates to the people. It is very, very wrong.
All right.
So one thing everybody should bear in mind as a politician is that there is no office, even the presidency, there is no office that you will remain forever. So when you impose people to people, tomorrow you see somebody that is imposing to people, you shouldn't, in the other way around, think that the person is doing the wrong thing. So what you did first
is wrong.
It's wrong. It's
regardless of who is being imposed and who is imposing.
It's completely wrong.
It's
completely wrong. And it doesn't call for the entire people, you understand, to enjoy the government. I believe that democracy, you understand, is the government of the people, for the people, and by the people. So it's only the people that makes democracy very, very active.
All right.
So when you impose people to them, that means you are making them irrelevant in the system of the game.
All right, Chizzy.
No, yes. I listened to my brother very well, you know, but I just wanted to say something. You know, there are things that you listen to and then you want to make clarifications. You see, this word imposition is purely relative.
All right.
You know, who is the president of U.S. today? The president of U.S. today. The president of U.S., his chief supporter was Obama. He was Obama's vice president.
Yes.
He was Obama's vice president. And the chief supporter of the president was Obama, isn't it?
Yes.
Today, the chief supporter of Kamala is the president.
Of course.
You know, in U.S. it is not imposition, it is support. Here, it's our level of political education.
All right.
Because see, what they call imposition is said, okay, now that I have supported this candidate, for instance, and you don't have to pick from. In fact, one of the things I fought in APC, maybe that's one of the things that's killing me. You know, I stood for the chairmanship of the APC in Rivers State. And then they told me that Amechi has announced Emeka Beke. They did that to Tinubu. They told Tinubu that Buhari has adopted somebody as his candidate. And Tinubu said, well, fine. Then his delegate should come and vote for the person, because he has his delegate. The only thing is that our level of political education has made also service to do that. If the man says, I am supporting, he's a man. There is nobody in the world, no king. If a king is alive and he wants to hand over to this person, no wonder a king begins to prepare somebody to hand over. Everybody prepares somebody to hand over. It is the onus on you to resist it or otherwise. Now, but if you cannot resist it, if you don't have the machinery to resist it. Amechi, while Amechi was going out from as governor, he brought in Dakuku, isn't it?
Yes.
But we fought it and got it. So we could have also had fought it. I said, I don't want to talk about like I said the last time, that the theory that played out in 2023 in Rivers State is a theory that I didn't know in politics. I'm trying to do a hypothesis that it will come up. I didn't know in politics, and it's going to be, and thank God, you know, theories are progressive. So maybe it evolves. Maybe this is one theory that I will have to use to do my PhD in one because you know, it's a very funny one that this people supported the other person supported the other person, they were swearing people. For me, it's not an imposition. For me, it's that you have made your will. You have said, this is what I want. You're a human being. You have a right to support. If the weight of your support is such that you can win the election, so be it.
All right.
No, but let me just, my brother Chizzy, please, when we are talking about imposition, to me, to my own understanding, I'm not talking about imposition generally. You understand? When it means that you are imposing candidate, you bring the person and the person becomes, you make the person governor. You impose somebody maybe from your party system. Sure. You understand?
Yeah.
Now, imposing somebody from your party system is the total people, you know, you have the power, you have the resources, and you are in charge. And you say, this is the person from your party system. And you work towards, you understand? Even when the people vote against it. I know what we fought in 2015. It was not easy. It was not easy. To take over the state in 2015, it took a lot of pains. It took a lot of... You know how, yes, it took a lot of... And we took it as a bull by the horn. We took the bull by its horn.
That is what I'm saying.
But now, what I'm saying is that let's look at it that the imposing of candidature, both in the party system and the circular one, it is very, very wrong.
Now, Cheesy, it's all probably you didn't understand what Cheesy was saying. What Cheesy was saying is that what you call imposition of candidates, to him, it's something that is obtainable at every strata of politics.
That is at every level of politics.
Both in Nigeria and abroad. And he used America as an example.
Instance,
Yes. He said that the current president of the United States enjoyed the blessing and support of Obama. And Kamala Harris now, who is also a presidential aspirant, a presidential candidate in the United States, is enjoying the full support of the current president.
Yes.
And even the past president of, President Obama
of the Democratic
as well. And I think Clinton as well. So when you look at it, one would say that these were their candidates. They were not hiding that these were their candidates. Now, the question is, probably you on your side, Churchill, probably you have the support, you're supporting somebody, but you do not have the clout to make that person win. While on the other hand, let's say a governor or a president may be supporting somebody, but has all the machineries and all the clout and the resources to push that person into power. So now, in that instance, would you say it's an opposition? Now, you, on the other hand, have also supported what he said without even knowing you're supporting Cheesy. When you said that in 2015, that you know what you did, and probably your people did as well, to take over the state. I'm using your language, by the way. To take over
the
power.
state.
They take over the state. I'm borrowing your
Because
language.
it was.
So now, it means that the governor, who was the incumbent governor at that time, had his anointed and somebody he was supporting and pushing his blessings. However, you know, Wike was the FCT minister at that time, was interested in the same position, and he pulled his own clouds. You were supporting Wike. Yes. And I don't know where Cheesy was.
Cheesy was supporting Dakuku.
No, I was supporting Wike. I was Yes. I was the molestation.
Cheesy was supporting Wike as well. So more of the grassroots person supported the FCT minister. Even though the incumbent at that time had an anointed person.
Had more money.
And probably the resources.
The state resources.
The FCT minister, who is the current FCT minister, and the Guba candidate at that time, was more of a grassroots politician. Regardless of the developmental strides of Amechi at that time, the election went in favor of Wike, and he emerged. So, what do you have to say to that?
The only thing is that, you know, when it came even to that of Wike, you know, people were telling us at that time that Power Karela, that we are coming with excess power from the federal level.
Okay, that's the meaning of Power Karela.
The power.
Excess power.
That is excess power. You know, that we are coming from a lot of power from the federal level.
Federal might as against power of incumbents.
All right. But that was not the only thing. The only thing is that we are more on ground.
Okay.
We are more on ground, and there was much sympathy, you understand, to that of whom is against our own son being Goodluck Jonathan. Because Amechi was against our own son, and that was the campaign strategy that lured many of the rivers people to vote for the former governor Nyesom Wike. So, and that helped also in every downtown. You know, when you have more popularity, when you have population in politics, you win election.
Okay.
We had more people that believed that our son is supposed to be the president.
So probably at this point in time, going by what Chizzy had said, it's now left for these other persons who are kind of in position of candidates to re-strategize on how to counter the power of incumbency in Imo State. Yeah. All right, interesting. All Progressive Congress in Benue State is currently divided into two factions, with each presenting its own list of candidates for the local government elections scheduled for October 5, 2024. The split is between Augustine Agada, the chairman of the dissolved state executive of the party, and the Benjamin Omale, the caretaker committee chairman appointed by the Abdullahi Ganduje-led National Working Committee of the party. Onguga, the caretaker organizing secretary and spokesman of the APC caretaker committee in the state, addressed journalists in Makurdi on Friday, detailing the details of the primaries by his faction aligned with the current caretaker committee. Onguga reported that this faction's primaries proceeded smoothly, with the party nominating 23 chairmanship and 276 councillorship candidates. The results from Mogonga's faction revealed that Mr. Timothy Adi won the chairmanship ticket in Gwawe East. Mr. Guda Tekura secured the ticket in Vandikeya local government area. Mr. Joseph Kefi won in Makurdi, Mr. Jonathan Modi in Ukum, and Mr. Kumasun Tuowase in Oshongo. Meanwhile, the rival Agada-led faction, which has been dissolved by the National Working Committee, claimed to have conducted its own parallel primaries and announced a separate list of candidates for the local government elections. Interesting times ahead in Benue State. Let me start with you, Churchill. You are a politician. Both of you are politicians, by the way. But then, what do you have to say, Churchill, to this factional list of candidates coming out from one party?
You know, when it comes to factional list like this, mostly it's coming from a party that is not my party. I know anything I say like this now, they will say, because he's a member of PDP. So he's trying to talk down that of APC. But one, they are not organized. That is one. I've seen that the only thing that has kept APCs in this country is not because they are popular. It's because of it's not because they are even organized. I'm not saying it because my brother is here. But the truth is that APC is not organized, both in the national level.
Is PDP organized? Is PDP without I'm saying. Is PDP without
I don't know if you are. Well, I know you are not a politician. So
I am not a politician. I'm a journalist, and the crisis in PDP is a public
but let me talk about the.
So why are you poking at APC not being organized when PDP?
But we know if
you will say both APC and PDP are.
No, if they are presenting two parallel lists. That's to say the level
of... Are there no factions in PDP?
No, but this one has shown the whole world that they are not...
The whole world knows that PDP has factions.
No, but this one shows that APC is not organized.
All right, go on.
What I'm saying is that APC is not organized. Yes. So, to me, I would say that the local government election, they are not interested in it.
Why do you say so?
So, if they have two parallel lists, which one I would take it?
Doesn't that boil down to INEC? Isn't that where... isn't that where the
October 5th is very close.
The state INEC...
October 5th is very close.
Yes.
And if, to me, there is nothing you will do there now that will not deter the mindset of the other people, other side. It will now divide completely. The house is divided, and there is no divided house that can stand. Every divided house falls. So, me, I'm of the opinion that they should keep them aside and run. The election can continue.
Churchill, how is this
possible?
Even possible when you say to keep them aside?
No, because
hold on, I'm building a question. Okay. Now, if you say keep them aside, there are factional there are two factions in one political party. One faction has been dissolved by the National Working Committee of APC. And APC has appointed a caretaker committee to oversee the party in the state. Now, is that not left for the state INEC to choose the faction to work with? And in this instance, they will, of course, relate to the national body. The national body has to recognize a particular faction, and that's what the state INEC is.
Okay, just like what
you could say that probably at the party level, because of the factions, is going to affect their cohesion and the output during the elections. But when you say to set a political party aside, how is that going to be?
Let me look at it. That is still the National Working Committee that has a lot to do so far as this particular issue is concerned. The National Working Committee can now write to the RISEC or the state INEC to verify or to inform them of their own candidates
or their own
stand.
committee.
Their stand. No, the stand of the National Working Committee
on the faction to work with.
On the faction to work with.
All right.
So that will now give the state INEC or RISEC, or I mean the state INEC.
The BSEC.
The BSEC. The state INEC, that is the BSEC. The grant to take decision on the matter. And also, I know too well that will affect APC so far as that state is concerned.
Okay.
Not immediately. It might not affect them immediately. You understand? Immediately decision is taken. But you will see that the good number of APCs will move to the other side of it. And I'm welcoming them as they are coming over to my party.
All right. Chizzy, what do you have to say to this story?
You know, I didn't want him to deviate me from the major field.
Yeah.
If not, I would have said that just in 2000.
You have a comeback for the
I would have said that just in 2023 that they submitted Sim Fobora as Guba candidate and then they submitted Farah as Guba candidate. We had Desmond Akao as chairman, and then we had my brother in Faga as PDP chairman. So it depends on the one. You see, in this instance, but they still won, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, what that constitutes is that right now, just like in football, you know, football has advanced that they now do have two referees. We have the referee of the field and we have the AVR that have to. So that is what the party and the BSEC has come to play in here. Don't forget that election is not an event. Election is a process. And in that process, there are umpires that the law requires that they go to monitor your primaries. And so there must be the faction that the BSEC has, you know, sent their people, because BSEC cannot send their people to go to two primaries. No, it's not. So there must be an umpire that they are recognizing. And chances are that the umpire they are recognizing is the umpire that is being supported by the national. Of course, because the national would have written them that this is their own persons. And again, the national also do have the people they are supporting. You see, the other ones will be just protesting in nature. Right. There is something, of course, in 2023 or 2019, the Magnus Abe faction submitted their own list, but we know the list that suffice. It's not about how many persons, but if you tell me, if I stay here and tell you that it's not also going to affect the fortune of the APC, I lie. But that is only if they have oppositions who are ready to harp on that deficiency, that lacuna that they have created. But in the case that, for instance, like I just mentioned the PDP here, while PDP were doing all of that, we didn't take advantage of that. We were internally also fighting ourselves. And so, because all the political parties are sick, because of lack of ideological disposition, the lack of internal democratic control of the party. That's why the parties are not there. So, if you look at what has happened there, you find out that a faction that was dissolved, like Emeka Beke was dissolved there, has gone ahead to work with certain persons to say, let's submit and cause crisis, working for another party. And then this party is saying, okay, no, this is this thing. We have organized. They have also not published their own list. But we said, okay, now BSEC would have visited, isn't it? the police would have visited, all of these people would have visited, and then they submit their list to these persons, and then the elections will be held. But Chairman, can I tell you something? If you think because of the fashionization of the party that that the people will not win, I can tell you that my experience in this politics for more than 30 years has shown me. Chairman, you're surprised because I said more than 30 years. You know, I'm an old man. So more than 30 years. You know, my experience in this field for, yes, I've been in politics actively from 1990. Right. You know, I've been active. You know, in 1990, I was PA to the local state chairman of SDP. So, and I was just, I won't tell you how old I was. Okay. So, you know, so, but then, what I'm saying is that if you take that, because we have a very peculiar system here. Now, people vote for you for party, and people vote for you for individual. These two things count. These two things count. And so, if the individual, and each time you see people protesting against, you're even making the candidate more popular. Yes. You see that in writing, in saying this thing from River State, you, because of the crisis, already knowing the candidate that emerged in a party that we didn't even have any reason to know them. But today we are knowing them. They are becoming more popular. And in that, the grassroots will also say, it looks like they've been anointed, what you guys call, you know, and all of that. But I can tell you that it is not good for our political system. The internal mechanisms of political parties are weakening on a daily basis. And that is not good. That is because people are supporting candidates of a political party that do not have a person of their own to be able to do certain things. Because there are certain things that the political party should say. One of these days, I told you guys that in 1979, that the President Shagari will take his budget first to the political party. The political party chairman was the leader of the party. The president wasn't the leader. When Obasanjo came out, he used the military mentality and then overthrew everything. That is even when the protocol, you know, deviated from having the presidents and the senators and the governor to the president, the vice president, the senate president, and the governors. If not, the governors were the senate president. Was he not in Saraki, the senior Saraki, Olusola Saraki, that a governor did not come back to government because he did not come to the airport to welcome a senator. But today, the senators are the handbag carriers of their state governors because their state governors are the one making them. I mean, because Obasanjo changed it, because Obasanjo wanted to use the governors as against the senators. Right now, the senators, now, you see, there is something that happened, very funny thing that happened with the former minister and former GMD of NDDC, our own brother, you know, who, when he was GMD during Jonathan, he did a memo to the president because he was close to the president, and then took all the responsibility of the Minister for State to the GMD's office. And then Buhari came and made him Minister for State. And so he didn't have the function again. He was frustrated. Okachuku. I'm talking about him. The same way when they handed over powers to the state governors, you know, by Obasanjo, then all of a sudden in the 8 years, the state governors, some of the state governors had to be somewhere. And so they started going to the Senate. You know, and then the governors are going back, and so the governors are saying that we're not going to come in here. So you see that what goes around comes around. So if you if you allow the thing go seamlessly, the way it can go, your influence can do a lot of things. If you have people, I have said here times to that number, we have defined loyalty with only longevity instead of impact. We have defined loyalty with only longevity without knowing or trying to know whether Chioma, the reason why Chioma is always coming here every week and that is that because he's not working. And then he said Chioma is a loyal person. Maybe because if I was working, I would have been squeezing my own time to come here. So sometimes you begin to do, is this guy here because he does not have alternative, or because he has alternative, he has used this alternative to come? That's why I had issues with Wike. He listened to me, he knows that that's true. I had issues with Amechi. And the issue is that, Oga, I have never been a counselor. I have never been a supervisor. I have never been anything. I took my way up to where I worked and came back to River State to mobilize the people I mobilized. So when I bring them to you and you say I'm not loyal because I haven't been there with you, who is more loyal? The man who has been loyal there and I cannot bring 10 persons to you, or the man who came today and can bring 50,000 persons to you? We want to measure loyalty with, yes, longevity is okay, but you also have to look at it with impact, and you also look at it with what the person can communicate. That's what is happening here. Exactly. Not just weak. We can't keep weakening the institutions and then tomorrow you want them. That is why it was beautiful when they used the world chairman to remove Ada Soshomolu. It was a world chairman. And so, do you know what that did? That woke up the structure of the political party so that people don't joke.
The world chairman also have powers.
Powers now.
To actually
and then Wike came here, my brother Wike, who understands the politics, and also used world chairman to deal with Uche Secondus. Then everybody was knowing that. Me, I went back to my place. I said, world chairman, I have to be loyal to my world chairman. Then you know that the world chairman is even more stronger than national chairman in this instance that the court. So, but if you don't understand it, then it was anybody can be. You can just stay somewhere and write the name and then expect the person to come and take cue from you and do what. But what is happening is not good for our politics. The internal, you see, the beauty of democracy must start from the internal democratic system of the party.
But in this instance, in the United States, there is already a dissolved day school by the National Working Committee. And there seems to be a modus operandi right now in political parties.
Yeah, dissolving ESCOs.
Yes, when ESCOs are dissolving ESCOs for whatever reason, and then when ESCOs are dissolved, they insist on not on doing their own bidding and not obeying the party's will.
That is what I'm saying. You see, Chioma, I have told you the last time that you have a way of dragging me to problem. You want me to come to River State now because you want me to say something around here. I am telling you that here in this place, what have we done as even the elected local government that has orchestrated the dissolution? That's the first thing. I said here in River State, and I'm here to go. I contested the election with Emeka, and I said after the election, I went to Emeka 3 times to say this is what we need to do. And just before 3 months after that election, 12 of his state working committee went to court against him that he was not their chairman. And the court said he was removed. Will the national keep watching at him? And I said that what happened to that is the failure of Emeka, to be charismatic in doing certain things that you can't, because I knew when Emeka was secretary of the party and when Ojikaye was this thing. Emeka, I was a member of the state working committee. Apart from 2 of them, we had 17. 15 calls me chairman, their chairman, because I bring them around. And what does it take to bring people around? Is to call them and say, you are to see them. I told my friend then, I said, bros, I am not one of your aides. We are colleagues. You are just first among equal as chairman. And so people will should start looking at their colleagues as like that. Here in Nigeria, as soon as you assume the office of the Speaker of the House, you are bigger than the State House, every other person. As soon as you are the leader of the council, you are bigger than you are no longer talking with them. These are the people who are they are first colleagues. So you are supposed to be the presider, like a presiding person. And so it's like we staying here, and then myself and my church, we are here. You are the one moderating us. It does not mean that you are higher, but you can say, excuse me, stop, then you moderate us. But you must see yourself as colleagues. If you see yourself as colleagues, nobody will take you to court. It is when your house is in trouble that the externals will come in. And the party, as soon as that is done, the national will come in. It is only at that you now begin to wake up to say no. And chances are that most of the people who were even members of the state working committee would have also been appointed as caretaker committee chairman. Federal committee members of the same place. And so the person fighting here would have been, pumped up by somebody to say, like, what Sim is doing to Emeka Beke here.
What do you mean by what Sim is doing?
That's what Sim is doing now. Emeka Beke is Sim's APC now. It's not the APC. Don't you know?
Let me.
I don't want to. You've come.
That's the area I want to go.
The court has. Jesus doesn't.
That is what I'm saying. The High Court of River State has said so. We know now. The same High Court that sacked Assembly when they did not have jurisdiction. So the court can mention anything. If Sifura takes me to River State High Court, I can write the judgment before the day. I know the judgment. So we also understand that. So don't worry about that. Chioma, I told you want to put me in trouble. Chioma, I'm looking for food.
Yes, I wanted to say something. I have to say something. Because I'm waiting for Chizzy to get to this place he has gotten to.
Oh, really?
So I want to say something.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes. First of all, I want to let him know that what happened in 2023 in my party does not really show that we are not organized. It was just like some persons are trying to impose some persons to Rivers people while a primary was done accurately. So, but
what exactly?
Everybody will tell you that.
I'm done with that aspect. So, but let me come to the area where he has come now. You know, in these party systems, particularly in what is happening in Benue State, you know, what the factions are doing is what I don't really understand whether in the APC constitution, because I'm not APC member. I've never been an APC member before, but Omasla has been an APC member before.
I am a APC
a member of APC, but I don't know the faction because
I'm in the APC.
We have PDAPC and we have the APC.
So which one is PDAPC?
I don't know when the time comes. He will tell us where Tinubu belongs is the PDAPC. So the other APC in the River State, the one he's saying is same APC. That one is one I know as APC for now. But we'll look at that.
Same APC.
That is, I don't know. But I want to ask him question before I now.
Please, who are the different people handling these different factions?
Oh,
for clarity purposes.
The question I will ask him will now arrive.
I asked you a question. You can't tell me the question you asked.
BK
is in charge of what
APC? He said BK is in charge of.
He said there are two.
I didn't say Wiki.
APC.
I know he said Sim APC.
He said Sim APC.
Sim. I didn't say Wiki.
No, he said Sim APC.
He is saying Sim APC and Tinubu APC.
No, he said that BK is Sim APC.
Yes.
Now, the Tony Okocha is PD APC. That is.
No, that's not what I said. APC. I never said so.
No, he is.
No, you are the one saying that.
He's the one saying
okay,
that.
I didn't say that.
Now let's come to that. I want to know. You see, on my own, I have not seen the area where it is enshrined in their constitution, where caretaker exists. You understand? That also brought me to what national working committees in different parties are doing, including my own party. You know, creating an avenue or creating a column in the party constitution where involves caretaker. And the reasons why somebody, a state executive should be dissolved completely when they are elected for a tenure without any issue, or maybe their issue is in court. Instead of the party legal advisor to be facing the matter in the court, the National Working Committee will now create a party caretaker to be in charge of that state. That is the area where I am being confused.
Are you talking about Benue State, or you're talking about?
No, I take it from Benue State.
Okay.
I take it from Benue State. Now, because if I come to River State, I know Omasla will come to.
No, I can go to there. I was a national delegate of APC, so I know what it is.
What I'm saying is that these particular factions now that is being, because there is a faction, like I said before, that the National Working Committee has to rectify that area based on their relationship with the two factions. Because if the National Working Committee believes that the two factions are the children of the party, and this is their decision, is a different issue. But when you are now throwing a fight, you understand, in between, that is putting the two heads together, trying to put the two persons, the two groups together, you are destroying your party. So me, I'm of the opinion that the two factions, they are the children of the National Working Committee. So they should call them and take a decision before even approaching the bicep. Because if not, the party in Benue State will be completely destroyed.
Okay. All right. Very well. Labour Party Kaduna State Chapter has clarified that the appointment of Nenadi Osman as the National Caretaker Chairman of the party followed the expiration of Barrister Julius Abure's tenure. Mr. Yusuf Solomon Dambaki and Sani Sahabi, Chairman and Secretary of the State Labour Party Interim Committee, in a statement issued in Kaduna on Saturday, said, "It is important to clarify that the tenure of Barrister Julius Abure and all his appointees ended on June 9, 2024. The rejection of Nenadi Osman's appointment appears to stem from a reluctance to accept this reality." According to the statement, the appointment of Nenadi Osman, facilitated by Governor Alex Oti and supported by the former presidential candidate Peter Obi, members of the National and State Assemblies, the Nigerian Labour Congress, the Trade Union Congress, the Gubernatorial Candidates Forum, and all other stakeholders is a necessary step to ensure the party's survival and effectiveness. The statement further explained, the Independent National Electoral Commission has ceased all dealings with Barrister Abure and his appointees, making it imperative for the party to adapt and embrace the new leadership. The statement added, change can be as challenging to accept, but it is essential for the Labour Party to remain relevant and functional. It urged all members and stakeholders to support the new leadership for the betterment of the party and its future in the country. Chizi, what is your take on this story?
You see, we were just talking about caretaker. You can also see it resonate here.
At the national level.
At the national level of even Labour Party. I'm going to say...
Kaduna State.
No. They are speaking for...
They are also interim.
They are also interim. They are speaking for...
yes.
For instance. Now, my sister... Now, you see, we were just talking about that. I can say certain things. You see, this internal democratic something that I was talking about is worse in this quote-unquote smaller parties. It's worse. I can mention 3 political parties that their chairman have not changed since the party was formed today. Right. The ADP, the Action Democratic Party, led by YY Sani, he has been chairman from 2016 till date. And then he goes on to become the chairman, the presidential candidate, come back as national chairman, presidential candidate, come back as national chairman, and then nobody's watching. Now in Labour, it was also like that. Do you know that the other man, who has now gone back to Zere Labour Party, he was the Labour Party, the chairman of the Labour Party for as long as he have held Labour, until he took his own, and then his deputy, which is Barrister Julius, that became the chairman. And then now started counting his tenorless, endless tenor, tenorless regime. That's what they do. The only reason why that is coming to fore now is that there's an OB who has gone into Labour, and then of course the
has become a third force.
Has become a third force, and then INEC would have focused on those political parties. If not, INEC wouldn't care how they are coming, because of course they wanted the party to just exist. And it's a very funny thing. So I think that INEC shouldn't just even wait for somebody to get in to become a third force. And again, if I also turn it this other way, I will say that now, if Obi contested election, I spoke to Obi one-on-one. One of the things that people criticized Obi then was lack of structure, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then I said, from 2023, what I would have been seeing in Labour now is organizing of the structures. The organizing, Julius, because it didn't matter. What mattered in PDP, it didn't matter in Labour. Julius was of the South. And Obi was of the South. So it didn't matter where the national chairman...
Now it's very important that these things are balanced.
Now it's very important that this is a balance. And so I would have thought that from 2003, what they would have done is to be building Labour in such a way that before the June 9, there would have been an election or a convention of the party that would now elect somebody.
But Abure held a convention in a hotel in Nnewi, Anambra State. Yes. Without the INEC present, by the way, and re-elected himself. And
that is not a convention. He just heard something. That's why I told you that before.
And that could be why the regulative bodies decided to derecognize them.
To derecognize them, I am saying that even Obi didn't need to wait for the INEC to do that. He would have waded into this whole thing before now to form a structure of the Labour Party.
You recall, Chizi, that Obi at some point did advise Abure, particularly initially that the NEC convention, the Congress that Abure held in Anambra State, initially was planned for Abia State at Umuahia, and then within a very short notice, it was just changed immediately to Nnewi, Anambra State, and the convention held there. You recall that prior to that convention, Obi advised Abure against taking that step. The question would be, is Abure a listening leader?
You know what that means now? That means that they didn't have a party. I keep saying it.
Why would you say that?
No. You see, party is not... It's when, that's why the last discussion we had, even here, I said to you that apart from being a professional, apart from being an academician, apart from being a technocrat, there is this element of politics that should enter somebody who is going to, because you need that political, what will I say now? You need that political influence to be able to get in something around here, even outside the country. You need, I tell people that part of what Tinubu is doing, I can tell you that if Tinubu was Jonathan, that all of this policy, including the very day that he was inaugurated as president of this country, if it was Jonathan that had mentioned that removal of subsidy, the Labour would have been on strike from that day to today. If Atiku did that, Labour would still not go as Tinubu would not go, because you see, there's this other thing that a politician does that everybody is not privy to, and you must do it. There is, I call it the backyard policy, that certain times you can do. If not, by his grace, holding Labour Party, Aburi, who was not nobody, quote unquote, when I mean nobody, he was not
relatively unknown.
Relatively unknown. The party was nowhere. It was because these people came into that party that the party became anything, isn't it? Okay. And then when that party became something, and then the people who brought that party, I could see him. He stays in hotel. He flies from there to. When I met with him, he was in Lagos, and I told him one day, I said, "Buddy, you cannot stay in 5-star hotel." Thank God, though. Because then I knew that if he was going to somewhere, I know him personally one-on-one, so he can engage me. I'm on air now. I know him personally that he's not somebody that, even though then National Party of Labour was coming to this place, I mean, because if you remember, somebody from Iba, Anslem, used Labour Party as his listing. He was coming to see us. Now I know how we managed to keep him in hotel. But today Obi came, whether Obi was giving him the money or because of a big cloud, things happened. Of course, the party people started buying form from the party. But the party didn't used to sell form. People started buying form. And so right now, why would he want to not stay? And look at the person they brought. In fact, when I saw the name of this woman on Nadi, I was afraid. I said, people like that are in Labour. These are ladies that you can trust that they have something upstairs to deliver. And so they brought them. Now, the INEC has said, we have stopped recognizing you. So the party should die. That's why I said there's no party. If it's party, you know that it's not your personal thing. It is not your personal thing. Do you know that as it is, that before now, the chairmanship of the party will always come from the Labour Congress. They'll just arrange and say this person go and be the party chairman. So because it was just their eye into governance to see whether they can have mouth in governance. But now, Obi has made it a political party. And so they should give it that courage that it deserves.
All right.
Okay.
Touch you.
Let me confirm let me say, should I call them National Working Committee? The NWC of Labour Party? Because as it stands now, Labour Party has...
you mean the stakeholders?
The stakeholders. Okay, let me use the word stakeholders. Let me not...
They said what they coined it, what Alex coined it was an enlarged stakeholders meeting.
Okay, yeah. Let me call it enlarged stakeholders. By the grace of God, Labour Party has a governor now in the country, out of the 36 states.
Yeah, sure.
Just like what Jesus was saying, before this time, nobody knows Labour Party. We see them as Labour. You understand? That is a Labour group. We don't see them as a party.
All right.
So, but they've come to stay just because they had persons like P2B that has come to run election. And so many persons, Nigerians now entrusted their support. Because of their belief, because of the belief of many Nigerians that Obi will do better. They now give him that rousy support, and also both financially. I remember I've discussed issue about the misappropriation of funds of this Labour Party one day. So, it has gotten to extent where Labour Party now is a party that needs more attention and structure to be very strong and to be a force to reckon with among parties in Nigeria. Now, if we're talking about parties, they count the PDP before the APC. They'll count the PDP first. They count the APC second. Now they will count the Labour Party third. Because among all these things, now they will count NMPP. The NMPP because of their governorship.
The ABGA has been there.
The ABGA. Why are all these things? Because Labour Party has grown to a certain level in their popularity. Because Obi took a very vital position in the past presidential election. So nobody should see party to be his own. Abure being kept aside by the authority that is supposed to recognize, not even Abure, recognize the party, to say that Abure is not recognized based on the attitude and the way the convention was conducted. It's a very clear thing that the party has taken a stand. Now, we'll look forward for the Nadi to constitute Nenadi to look forward to constitute to have a very good constituted body of starting from the ward, local governments and state congresses to have their executives. And now having a formidable convention before 2027 election, that will give the party another new level to contest in the next coming election, mostly 2027 election. So for now, I would say Abure and whomever that he has worked with, they should stay aside and also come up, because like I discussed last time about their financial misappropriation, the misappropriation of
their allegation. You can't, when you say financial
it means a court of competence.
let me say it's an allegation,
because the national treasurer came out to accuse Abure of certain misappropriation of funds.
Okay, let's say it's an
allegation.
So, but one thing I'm saying is that they should step aside and allow the members that were appointed as CTC members to work towards ensuring that the party, it's not my party, me, I should be talking about them not even existing. You understand? I should be talking about them not existing, because I know that my party is coming to take over 2027 based on what is happening in this country.
You know why I smiled at what you just said?
And because you believe it.
No. Why I smiled at what you just said, Churchill, is that I love politics because I deal with politicians like you every day. And in one breath, you say one thing when it favors you, and in another breath, you say another thing.
When it doesn't favor me, because I'm talking about the CTC.
Yes, because in this instance.
No, because
hold on, Churchill.
Because they don't have a constitution. They don't have a constitution.
You cannot say Labour Party does not have a constitution.
I'm not a member of Labour Party.
So
a party cannot be registered without a constitution.
Without constitution, they are registered with INEC. It makes sense to me.
Okay.
And hold on.
Because I'm against APC.
Hold on, Honorable Churchill. And in a lot of issues between Abure, Apapa, and all other issues that have happened in Labour Party, Abure is a barrister, and usually whenever he's talking, he's always quoting the party constitution, by the way. But then, moving forward, you said CTC is not enshrined in the constitution of a political party.
I said,
and in the same breath, no, that I'm quoting you. I am quoting you.
I asked a question. It wasn't a question I asked.
It wasn't a question.
I said, as somebody that has worked with the party, he should know whether it is under the
you were not even addressing Chizi at that time.
Okay.
You made a statement of fact. I listen to everything anybody says on my show, and funny enough, I can remember everything. I can quote you word for word in the next 20 years. So you said that CTC is not enshrined in party constitution, and now you were saying that Abure should step aside. Okay. Hold on.
Okay.
Abure should step aside to allow CTC, the same unconstitutional cities.
Okay, let me come to that.
Oh, that the
let me just come to that. Let me just come to that, so I'll trash it out immediately.
Chizzy, why
you know, no, Chizzy will laugh because he wants to see something. But let me just say, let me trash it out before Chizzy will say something. You know, this one, they are not. He did a convention that was not recognized, and when your party is not recognized because of the convention you did, your tenure has elapsed, and you don't have any.
The unconstitutional thing can take place.
No, these stakeholders now came up together, you understand, to have a resolution. This is a resolution of the stakeholders.
Okay. What is the resolution? To build illegality.
To build illegality.
Yes, because according to you, CTC is
it's a resolution.
But
you understand? It's a resolution.
According to you.
It's a resolution.
If it's not in the party constitution.
No, it's a resolution of the stakeholders.
If CTC is not in the party constitution, according to you.
But this is a resolution of the stakeholders.
Regardless, it is still an illegal resolution. Because according to you,
when the stakeholders
you said that CTC is not in the constitution.
I mean by our constitution.
You said
my party I'm part of the
APC. See.
You're not an APC member, so you cannot speak for APC.
You should say that it's in the constitution.
You know, I think the right thing to say, Chairman, would be that he has never been an APC member.
Yes,
I have been a PDP member. And I'm an APC member, so I know the two constitutions by the grace of God.
But he cannot boast of knowing the APC constitution.
But one thing I know that I don't need to open. I don't need to open is that for a political party to be registered, or even through the CSC before INEC, that you would have had a constitution. So there's no party that does not have a constitution, no matter how slim that constitution is.
No, yes,
that's the one. Then number two,
it depends on the resolution. Of
there is something I know that there is the letters or the spirit of the caretaker. The letters of the spirit of a caretaker is reconciliatory in nature. It is because something is wrong. Let's have these persons to bring also, which means that if their constitution allows, a body may also have the opportunity to run if she chooses to run. That's what the letters of the caretaker means. But what I don't know is the nomenclature that they call their own in the Labour Party. Why do I say so? The nomenclature they call their own independent party. If you say expanded stakeholders, it does not have a constitutional backing, assuming that is for APC or PDP. Because the only recognized body that is supposed to dissolve and appoint caretaker would have been the National Executive Committee, not National Working Committee. The National Executive Committee that's made up of all the Board of Trustee members and all of that coming for a meeting and then dissolving that. Assuming again, because I have not gone into their constitution, assuming again that we are talking about these two political parties that I know of their constitution. But in this case, they have only called somebody. The INEC, it looks like every other thing will be suspended because, see, if your tenure has expired, it means that you lack the legal backing to even call a meeting. Is that correct?
Okay.
You lack the legal backing.
Abure was saying that only his ESCO can call a meeting.
But I'm telling you now that as soon as your tenure elapses, you do not have any right. It means that the party at that point is moribund. Right. So only those who are elected on the platform of the party will now carry the shoulders of recruiting a new person so that INEC will not deregister you. Okay. And that is what has happened in this instance. Do you understand? That's what so it means that these persons now having been the stakeholders are affect the governor, who is the only elected person now, who is heading the stakeholders, and the presidential candidates, the senators, the House of Reps members, the assembly, who are members of the
vice presidential candidates,
or the vice presidential, and members who are the
NLC-TUC.
NLC-TUC. So they are the state
Guba candidates.
Yeah.
I should go on.
No. Guba candidates are not. Let me tell you why.
The Guba candidates were part of the extended stakeholder.
They just called. That's why he says extended. That's why he was careful. Oti is a very brilliant person. He used the word carefully, extended stakeholders. But when we're talking about national stakeholders, they are not. They are those who are elected.
I think Oti wanted a situation
where it is an elaborate,
all-encompassing, and nobody would feel left out, because at some point you have a representative that spoke for you.
Sure, what I am saying is, assuming even without considering that they have just called these persons that I have mentioned, even without this person, it still carries the weight of law. Right. Now, bringing this people is even an extended one.
That is why
it's often solving political solution, bringing a political solution to it, and to say, look, okay, let us hand it over to this wonderful woman.
Don't even forget, Abure and his 3 of his schools were invited, but they chose not to attend.
No, yes, again, if they are invited and they chose not to attend, Chairman, one thing I know about stakeholders meeting, especially at the National or State Executive Committee, let me talk about the one I have been member. I was a member of the State Executive Committee of the APCT today. You know, so what that means is that if you are invited to a meeting and you didn't come, and the quorum of that meeting and the people the meeting meets its quorum, the decision of that meeting is binding on you. Okay. And that meeting meets the quorum that is because there's a particular quorum that is supposed to meet before they carry out decision. The decision of that meeting, you can only say something if you were not invited, if they show evidence that they have been invited, and these persons were invited, and so they had this thing. This is the reconciliation in nature. Like I said, that means that if they lift up something and even Abu they want to contest, and assuming again that their constitution allows him to do, he has the right to also fund certain persons, but to stick that look, this is it's not his father's property for carrying that land.
All right, Chizzy. All right, Chizzy. You have something to say very quickly.
The only thing I have to say is that I like what Chizzy has said. I've never been a member of APC. I'm not a member of Labour Party. But one thing I believe is that this caretaker committee is something they should look towards in having a substantial executive in Labour Party to ensure that
they have 90 days. Nenadi Usman has been given a 90-day window.
Yeah, they should do that.
To also hold a convention, a national executive convention, to ensure that elections are done.
Okay.
And then not just the NEC convention, but also congresses from the national to the world. She has been given a 90-day window to do that.
It's okay.
And then this is where we wrap it up on this episode of Open Air. I really wish we had more time to discuss more issues. Thank you so much, Churchill, for coming.
Thank you very much.
And thank you, Chizzy. It's always a pleasure having you.
90 days is unrealistic. Tell them.
Okay. Labour Party, you've heard it. And we are open for advert placements, bookings, and commercials. You can connect with us on all our ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, and on Twitter, Atlantic TV Net. Watch us live on our website, www.atlanticnetwork.tv. Do not forget, peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you for watching. I am Ugu Laurentia. See you at the same time tomorrow. Bye.
I've always said there are 2 sets of people, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the coward and the hypocrites, which I am.
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians believe now is not about the government. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are on the sea.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To forget this at corporate, we get to lead of this minister and the corporate. Give us access to our money, we put it down.
Yeah.